Hey guys, it's Jenny with sillyfarm.com, and today we're going to be talking about paint pal brushes and the brushes that you need to have in your kit. So these are my top 10 brushes that I always carry in my kit, and as a beginner, these brushes are going to be a really good tool to have. So as a beginner, you're going to hear that the number 4 round is going to be your best friend, and I completely agree. This brush right here, it's not too thin, it's not too thick. You can do nice thick lines with it, but you could also do detailed, intricate work. So let's show you how this brush works. So to try this brush out, I'm just grabbing a little of my Fab Fuchsia and the number 4. So you can do nice thick lines just by pressing down on the brush, or you can go as thin as you want by lightly pressing on the brush. So you can do thin to thick, and then back thin to thick, back thin to thick. You could even do some beautiful swirls with this brush. And also your teardrops. This is a great brush to have. My next go-to brush is gonna be the Paint Pal number 6 round. This brush, it's a nice chunky brush, but again, you get some really nice detail work with this brush. Alrighty, so I've loaded this brush enough, and I just want to start off with some teardrops to show you how nice and thick this brush can be. Look at this. How nice and thick, but it could also offer you thin lines. Or again, thin to thick, thin to thick. And it does offer some beautiful swirls as well. To get nice intricate lines, you want to go smaller with the brush. This is a swirl number 3 from our Paint Pal. This is all we're talking about today. And this brush offers the most beautiful, delicate lines. I'm going to show you how this works. Let's go ahead and load this brush. Again, same technique, just a little bit of water on the bristles and just rolling it around. And I don't know if you can see this, but when I'm loading my brush, I like to kind of like give my brush a twirl, like a little, like it's rolling around in the paint, and I feel like it helps load the brush just a little bit more. So I'm just gonna start with a nice thin line. Isn't that beautiful? Thin teardrops. And this, being that this brush is smaller, it's gonna hold less paint than a normal brush would, than a bigger one, but look how beautiful these teardrops are. And let's show you the swirls that this one can do. Beautiful work. So now you learned about your round brushes for line work. Now you gotta add some designs. This pretty petal brush is awesome for double dip flowers, and it is so easy to use. Once you get the hang of this brush, you're gonna love it. So what do I mean about double dip flowers? If you haven't heard the term, you dip your paint in some white paint or a light color, and then I'm just gonna grab a baby wipe and just take off just a little bit of paint from the tip of the brush itself. And then I'm going to go ahead and dip in a darker color. So I'm using this ink blue from Fab, and I have my 2-tone bristles there. And what that's gonna do is gonna create some really pretty 2-tone flowers. So if you see, all I'm doing is pressing down, and I have some beautiful little flower petals there. And all it takes is just a little push down. All right, so this brush, the Pretty Petal by Paint Pal, is a must for your kit. If you love that Pretty Petal brush, then you're gonna love this little one. This is the Teardrop brush. It's like the Pretty Petal's little sister. It's tinier than the Pretty Petal, and you could use it to make teardrops, hence the name, but you could also use it to make tiny little double dip flowers. All right, so I just loaded my Teardrop brush with a little yellow and some red on the tip. Let's show you how these little petals look. Let's see. Push down, 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 and down. I introduced to you the Little Drop brush. This brush, it's just a regular Filbert, not too big, not too small, but I'm gonna show you how easy it is to make a little heart with this brush in just 2 little swipes. Let me show you how easy it is, and this is gonna be quick. I'm just gonna go down and down. I did a heart, done. Down, down, did a heart. But I love the fact that it makes the chunkiest little hearts. They're so cute, and you can do them so quickly. Like, I could just fill up my whole arm with hearts and that's it. But check this out. So I was making big hearts. Now you see such a big brush and you're like, there's no way you can make tiny hearts. Of course you can. Look at this. I just put the brush on its side and I could do tiny little hearts just by gently pressing the brush down. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Just little hearts. And I could just keep going and just do hearts everywhere. Now, it doesn't only do hearts. That's not the only thing because it makes awesome teardrops. Let's see if you can see what I'm talking about. Look at that. And that is all with this brush. Now I've done videos that I show you how to do your entire design with just one brush. And this is the brush to have. For this next brush, I went ahead and I pre-painted my arm because I want to show you how I use this brush for line work. This is the beautiful butterfly. It is an angle brush and it's not your typical size, it's smaller. We're gonna go ahead and grab a little bit of my ink blue. So I just lined my beautiful butterfly angle brush with some ink blue and I just sponged this little part on. So all I'm doing is I'm going to use this to give my butterfly wings a little dimension. And all I'm doing literally is just wiggling the brush back and forth. I'm just gonna try to finish this design with just the same brush. So all I'm gonna do is kind of like do the little butterfly body. And then I'm going to also do the little butterfly antenna. And that's pretty much it, guys. Like, how awesome is it using this brush? You could do a little more lines into your butterfly, give it a little more design. But this brush is great for things like that. Now the bigger version of the beautiful butterfly is this one right here. This is the Romantic Rose. It's also an angle brush, but it's smaller than your regular 3/4 inch or 1 inch. So I'll just show you what this brush does. So this is the thin lines that it can provide. And this is this thick lines that it can provide. And for our Silly Farm Arty cakes, we have the Arty Brush Large. Now this is your 3/4 inch large flat brush, and it's perfect for your Arty Brush cakes. And look how beautiful it lays those colors down. This one is awesome. And last but certainly not least, it's our Arty Angle Brush. This is a 3/4 inch angle brush, great for your Silly Farm Arty cakes. I'm gonna load it with one of our newer Silly Farm Arty cakes, which is Ellie Pop, and let me show you how beautiful this brush transfers the paint onto the skin. Look how pretty that is. I cannot say enough about this brush. This brush is so wonderful. Look at the dimension that it adds. So there you have it, guys. 10 of my favorite paint pal brushes, each with their own unique capabilities, and they all offer something beautiful and different. You definitely should have these brushes in your kit. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Jenny with another Silly Farm video, signing off.